My name's Alexia, and we have Victor here coming to talk about his book, Legitimize Your Hustle.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good, I'm great,
Okay, so my first question is, what do you mean when you say think like a hustler?
So when I talk about think like a hustler, I have a whole chapter devoted to this actually. But the main premise behind think like a hustler is that you need to equate everything in life to the hustle. So when you encounter whatever you encounter throughout your day, you need to be thinking like a hustler. So you thinking as the business that you are. So whatever your business is, you need to be that and think like that throughout all encounters, throughout whatever it is that you're doing. So if you a chef, you always want to be thinking about how you can improve your cooking skills and how you can sell your chef. So when you come in and meet somebody, you want to know if they need something catered, have they eaten today? You know what I'm saying? So it's just always think like a hustler. But it's more to it than that, and I go into it in depth in the book. Mm-hmm. But that's just the basic premise of it.
Okay. So is there a difference between having a hustle and having a business?
It is. I think that the primary difference between having a hustle and having an actual business is legal. A hustle has not taken the steps that are required to become an actual business, like forming your entity and getting a tax EIN number. But in addition to the formal difference, I think that it's more something that's intangible, something that you think about, the way you treat it. So when you're dealing with like a hustle, it's something that you just do, in addition to whatever you got going on. So it's like, yeah, this is my side hustle or whatever. This is my hustle. But when it becomes your business, this is me. This is my business. This is like a actual being. You know what I'm saying? That you have to treat it differently than you treat a hustle. I think having a business is probably a little bit more intense than just having a hustle in the sense of the mind.
What was your first legitimate hustle?
My first legitimate hustle was a hand car wash. Well, yeah, because I'm a barber, so I've been cutting hair. So technically now that is one of my legitimate hustles, but it wasn't a legit hustle until I got licensed. So my first actual legitimate hustle was a hand car wash. So I had been washing cars and detailing cars in the driveway for a while. But it wasn't until I actually opened up a location and got that business license and got the lease and formed my entity. I had formed a sole proprietorship for that one. But when I went through those steps, I considered that to be a real business. So that was in my mind when I went from hustle to business. When I took the washing the cars in the driveway and I went and opened up the actual location and with everything legal, I think that was my first legitimate business.
So what's the downside of being an entrepreneur? Like something that nobody ever talks about?
Oh, there are many. But primarily the biggest thing is the devotion and dedication that it takes. When I say you got to be your business, I mean just that. Like you have to eat, sleep, breathe that business. So it consumes a good portion of not just your day, of your life. There's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made in order for the business to thrive. And people don't I guess acknowledge that a lot of times. Oh, I want to open a business, I want to do that, thinking it's gonna be like create a 9-to-5 job where you can put your entrepreneur hat on at 8 o'clock and then you work throughout the day and then you go home and you enjoy life. No, when you're an entrepreneur and you got a business, there's no off times. Like you're always that. You have to find some type of balance with your life. Mm-hmm. But even in that, you still thinking about the business. You still have to you still have to keep it in mind because you're a reflection of your business wherever you at. So you could be at the grocery store, and if somebody sees you and correlates you to the business, then you represent the business. So you can't take that hat off. So that's probably one of the biggest one of the biggest downfalls, or the things that people don't think about, is that you become the business. It consumes you, basically.
What is some good legal advice that you would give someone who's starting a business?
Legal advice that I give to someone starting a business: form your entity and keep everything separate. So you want to, when you conducting business, you want the business to be a whole separate person from you. You don't want to commingle money or activities or anything like that. You want to keep everything separate. So your business name, let's just say you got ABC Brick business, everything that business does on its own, independent of you, and everything you do is independent of the business. So you don't want to keep on mixing the two and just having it, it's all intertwined, because then you defeat the purpose of having a legal entity, because you're not going to be protected by the liability of the corporation, because you are not treated as a separate entity. So the best legal advice would be to form your entity and keep everything separate. So you want to incorporate LLC or whatever entity you decide to go with, just keep it all the way separate. Open up a separate bank account for the business, and just keep everything separate, so that you protected and your personal assets are protected.
What's the best part of your journey of becoming a hustler?
The freedom. I think that's probably, and that's probably my biggest motivation. I got a strong desire to be free and independent. So, and with that, financially free. Having the ability to write my own, pay my own way. So, when I decide to do something, I don't have to answer to an employer. I only have to answer to, my wife or something like that, the kids and the family. But when it comes to just being able to do what I want to do, I think that entrepreneurship has been that vehicle to give me that ability. So I think that's probably the biggest advantage, the thing that I enjoy the most, because that's probably the thing that I seek the most.